rico.toro. Real life experiences, personal observations. It's about those positive vibes. Positive vibes bring positive outcomes. About those living positive lives, being all they can be, living their best life. No need to prove themselves or give a damn about what anybody else thinks. Just living their life, living their best way, just living with a capital living, not lowercase from the couch, trolling living, if that makes sense. Stay tuned. Okay, ya tú sabes esto lo que hay. Rico.toro. So, shout out to my boss. He likes the way I roll my R's. Rico.toro. And shout out to D Hall from the job. See, some of the people from the day job have came across the channel. I like to support what I do, so much respect, much love, appreciation to them. So, so got a couple of interesting stories for you, real life stuff, It don't happen to me personally, it happens to good people, solid people that I've known a while that, have been valuable resources to me since I've been visiting here, some of them, and others that I met since living here, never had reason to question. It's kind of like if, a friend buys a car in Mocha, and tells you that Mocha is where most people buy cars in the Dominican Republic. You don't have to actually go to Mocha to know that, It's just like the accident reports in Dominican Republic. It's common knowledge, it's common statistics. Anybody can find out. So, anyways, a lot of times we as expats or frequent travelers or seasoned veterans, whatever you want to call us, I'm speaking for myself as well as many of you guys. We can become a little jaded, a little cynical. Sometimes you start with something and you think you know the outcome already. You think basically if it went a certain way for you, that's the only way it can go. Or if it's something that never happened to you, it can't happen. Like the whole finding the unicorn thing. So, jump right in. I guess it was about 5 years ago when I was on my way down. This was before I lived here. On my way down on the flight from Miami. In the middle seat was this beautiful morena, Dominicana, probably in her 40s, but still muy bonita. So, super cool. Spoke a lot of English. We're talking. And she tells me she's married to a gringo, an American. I'm going to come back to her story. Stay tuned. Might not end how you think. So, a friend of mine I consulted yesterday regarding the medical system here, because he's lived here like 9 years. I actually consulted 2 expat friends the other one has lived here 15 years and never left. So I consulted them, and in the conversation, one of them, he's a real serious guy, doesn't drink, doesn't like to party, so you're not going to find him on Pedro Grisante, even though he dabbled early in his travel career. But, he's now retired, comfortable living a slower life, and he travels all points of the globe in this country. So he meets a lot of women off a couple of regular dating websites. And, the results may vary from time to time. But just recently, he tells me, he's kind of getting into women that are a little bit older, a little more mature now. So he's telling me he met this 44-year-old or something. He's 65, keep in mind. So, not terrible. And says he's up in Nagua or somewhere around that way, which is, in case you don't know, 2-3 hours up going past Cabarete, going up toward Las Terrenas and Samana. It's way up there, but definitely worth checking out sometime. I tend to think there's more value sometimes in getting to know some people up there, in those small towns and campos versus, Santo Domingo or Santiago always. Just from my experiences and from my trustful resources, just a lot of good people, good families, etc. So, he meets this mature woman for dinner. They hang out a while. And the check comes, he reaches for it, and she immediately goes in her bag and pays the check. So, shout out to him. See, nobody expects a Dominican woman to pay for anything. And, he stays there a couple days. She stays with him in a day or two later at his hotel. And in the morning gives him a kiss and goes. Just like that. And, there's a lot of skeptics out there. Oh, he's lying. Oh, that never happens. Oh, that train is coming. And you know what? 97% of the time, let's say, I agree with you. But it does happen. It does happen. Sometimes you got to create that connection. You got to play around with them, play footsies, giggle, laugh, joke, lick them in the ear, whatever. And so back to the married chick on the plane. So she tells me, 19 years ago from that date. So we'll say 24 years from today. So she told me she has been married 19 years and living in Minnesota, of all places. And, says, they have a great life. They both seem very happy. Still married. Did not meet on Pedro Crescente. Pedro Crescente. Dominican Republic's best and worst street. Depending on how you look at it. So, I don't know today, 5 years later, if they're still married, if he's dead or if she's dead, or he got pissed off and had to kill her, or she cheated on him, or whatever. Or maybe she made it to the East Coast or made it up to Washington Heights or the Bronx and left him for a Dominican, or all those things that most people believe, and it's true. It's quite possible that it can happen if you take a Dominican to the States, especially to the tri-state area. It's quite possible she can find her way up to Washington Heights or the Bronx, especially if you're already in the tri-state area, and leave you for a Dominican that's, that they have that telepathy, that culture, maybe he's got a bigger dick than you do and just as much or more money. I'm just saying. However, no marriage, no relationship is guaranteed to work forever or last forever. So whether you American, Canadian, fat, black, Cuban, Puerto Rican, and lovely, Irish and Italian, esto lo que hay, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Nothing's guaranteed. So the fact that she told me 19 years of good marriage up in the Midwest and Minnesota, I was like, you know what? This is a success story. One day to be told. I never knew I'd have a YouTube channel to tell it at that time, but shout out to them. See, positive vibes, positive experiences. Things can go well sometimes. There is unicorns, I guess, out there. Most of us are not going to find them, but they do exist. You just got to look in the right places. So, little bulldog came and handled business today. Su, tú sabes cómo va la fiesta. And, yeah, so that's that. Peace, yeah. Thumbs up, subscribe, Rico Toro.